Hey, let's lethal people. So I want to share a video with you tonight based on safety, and it's really geared for people that don't have any firearm experience or minimal firearm experience, but it's also for everybody, something that they can learn to apply. So apparently more and more less lethal launchers are coming out, more powerful ones, and now everybody's favorite seems to be the Intrabuster, mercurized Intrabuster, or the Pistol X68. And so far it's been really great. We've all been impressed with it, and we all seem to like the quality. Time will tell what the reliability is of it, so we still have to keep testing it and use it. But so far, a lot of things can be said, and the one thing that can definitely be said is it's extremely powerful. No two ways about it. So this is really not a novice or beginner launcher. This can cause a fatality or a permanent disability. This is something that cannot be taken lightly and needs to be shown the utmost respect. And it's much different than your TCP or FSC or any of those that have a real safety on it. Those have safeties on the side that you could push and engage with your thumb or your index finger when you're ready to shoot. This does not. It just has the dingus safety like a Glock or some other firearms. And I am not a big fan of safeties. I think every tenth of a second counts, especially when it comes to saving your life. So this is something that was designed with that in mind. Now, the other night I was driving and I was out with a couple of my buddies, and it was the night before I got married. I just got married. I got made Ms. East Coast Less Lethal into Mrs. East Coast Less Lethal. So I went out with some buddies and we had some cigars, and it was really late. It was about, 2 o'clock in the morning. We come back from the cigar bar, and I'm left-handed. So it's very difficult when I sit inside of a car, whether I have a real firearm or a less lethal firearm, it's on my left side, and it's very hard for me to access, especially if I have a seatbelt on. Now with firearms, they make things that are somewhat safe for the car that you can lock them into, but nobody really makes anything yet for a less lethal. So what I usually do is I have my center console, I open it up, and I put my less lethal in there. This way, if God forbid something were to happen, I can just grab it and go. Well, while I was driving home, I had a deer running right in front of the car. It was a huge buck, and I jammed on my brakes. I did not hit him, thank God. But the inertia from me slamming on the brakes must have sent the launcher forward inside the console, and it smacked the puncture button, which caused it to gas up. I did not know that. I normally, and it's just out of safety, and with the firearm, you wouldn't be able to do this. Only with less lethal, you could. When I got out and I got it and I was going to holster it, I always give it a little just to see. And sure enough, I did that, and it started the air come out. So I quickly turned it upside down and I depressurized it. And I was like, that's odd. I don't remember. And then I realized how it must have happened. Knowing that it can happen to it can happen to your Umarex, it can happen to your Souls, it can happen to anything. The only difference is if this goes off and something or somebody is in the way, it can be catastrophic. It can be deadly, it can be lethal, it can be permanently disabling. So it's very important that we, with these higher end launchers, start thinking differently now. We have to start thinking on these as firearms and give it the same respect and the same treatment. And you should be doing that even with your lighter powered launchers, because it's just habit and muscle memory that builds. And if you do it with a burner, you'll do it with the Pistol X, you'll do it with the 9mm. It's the same thing. So we carried across the board. There's a technique I would like to show you that I was taught when I was in the Firearms Academy. I apply it to all firearms, and I apply it to all non-firearms, such as less lethal. I apply it especially also to my 100 Joule M17. When we're dealing 50 joules, 100 joules, these launches are serious self-defense tools. They are definitely adequately powered. You need to take some sort of precaution, because if not, a catastrophic thing that can ruin your life can happen. So the thing that I really would like to show you, and the thing that I really learned about this, and you can apply it to these, is when you want to pressurize something or depressurize something on a less lethal, or you want to remove a round from a chamber on a real firearm. And I have the M17 here too. I'm going to also use that as an example to show you. In your home or in a building or wherever you are, I'm going to tilt the camera down. Here's the wall. Here's the floor. This is the strongest point in your house. So, if I were to gas something up, I can point it there and strike it. If I wanted to degas it, I can also face it there and degas it. This way, if anything were to happen and it were to go off, same thing with a real firearm. I can drop the magazine, rack the slide, the round will eject out, and this way, if there was an accidental misfire, it would be here. And the chances of somebody getting hurt from here are seriously diminished than it would be if you were just standing up and pointing it at a bare wall where nobody is. Because, like I said, you don't know who's behind that wall. This will go through a piece of sheetrock easily. Granted, it might lose a lot of power. A real bullet will not. But this is a good practice to get into. This is the strongest portion. I also see a lot of people gassing up their M17. If you have a 100 Joule M17 and you're not sure if a round is going to come flying out of that when you fire, gas it up or whatever, point it down towards that corner, gas it up, and at least you'll know if something comes out, it's going down to that corner, and it's not going to go through your window, through your wall, hit an innocent person that you didn't intend on hitting. So here's just a little strategy that you can use and you can apply. Same with high-powered air guns as well. This spot right here, the L. Okay, guys, I hope you take something away from this. It's not much of a much. Some people may know, but a lot of people may not. And if I can help keep somebody safe and educate you on that today, I did a good job. All right, guys, stay safe, enjoy. Talk to you soon.